Sometimes plans are all it takes, actually. I'll give you an example. We had a moment when we almost sold the company. And my co-founder and I were like looking at this, thinking we should be happy about selling the company, because that's like why you start a company is often to sell it. And we were really stressing. And it actually wasn't until we were about to sell that we could admit to each other, like, why are we even looking at selling? It's like, oh, I'm unhappy. And he's like, he's unhappy. And we didn't want to admit to each other that we were unhappy, because we thought that, like, if I admitted we were unhappy, then it would be like a really big problem.
Yeah.
But it took admitting that we were both unhappy to be like, why? And it was very scary to say it out loud. But then once we said it, it was like, oh, well, we're running really negative. Like, we were running at a loss at that moment. We were searching for way more growth. It wasn't showing up. We had like a lot of chaos inside of the business. And we decided that actually what we would do is we'd not sell the business. And we'd fix the company. Like, we admitted the problem and said we'd fix the company. Well, like, how will we fix it? And within a pretty short period of time, we came up with a plan. The plan was, we're going to get back to being profitable. We also want to get a return for our investors, because we'd had angel investors and they wanted us to sell. We want to get a return for the employees, because we'd given employees stock that they want us to sell. So we hit on this idea of like, we're going to do this buyback. We're going to raise debt. And we're going to do a buyback of the company to get back control. Now we're going to have debt, which is going to force us to be profitable. Once we're profitable, though, we think we're going to be more focused and more creative, and the business is going to do better. And I remember the feeling of like, I was having sleepless nights up until that moment. And then we made the call. We were still losing a bunch of money the next day. Like, we were losing a ton of money. We had a lot of stuff to fix, but I started sleeping like a baby, because I knew, well, maybe not a baby. Babies don't sleep that well. I started sleeping like a well-adjusted, like 7-year-old. But like, I knew, like, we had a plan. We were going to move forward on the plan, and the stress went away, and it went actually to like excitement and moving forward. And it took us like 6 months to transition the company to a better place. But never once we made that initial call did I have stress. I was like, this is just I felt comfortable with the decision. And so I just think that's an example of like, a lot of times what it takes is admitting the issue and then coming up with a plan. And sometimes that's enough that you can then shed the fear. You can shed the stress to some degree, and you can know how to move forward.